आज हम डिस्कशन करिए ट्रेंड. What is the trend of industrial relations in India? So there are different stories how it started, what the India has adopted a different trend. There are proofs from history. We have studied history. I have captured few proofs here in this slide. From the ancient time, it has been seen that India has practice of unions, groupism. So it is mentioned in some ancient books, ancient scripture, and laws of our country laid emphasis on the promotion and maintenance of peaceful relationship between capital and labor. From very early days, craftsmen and workers felt the necessity of being united. The unity of unions has been started in Ayurveda. Shukla Ayurveda Samhita Indrajit is a book. And this book it is mentioned, if men are united, nothing can deter them. That means if people are united, their group, then nothing can deter them. That means nothing can keitago hari bariban. यदि समस्त एकाठी ହେଇଗଲେ, that is the most strongest group. सेटा बेदरो अछि एवं कौटिल्य अर्थशास्त्र प्रूफ मिले जी. Kौटिल्य अर्थशास्त्र gives a comprehensive picture of the organization and functions of the social and political institute of India and good description of unions and craftsmen or artisans. That means from the ancient time, from the history, it is mentioned that unions, groups are there in India. So it is not a new concept. Then that means from Mughal time, from British time, after Mughal there is British time. Britishers are claiming that okay, we are teaching union, trade union, all this concept to India. It started from our time, but it is there from our Mughal time. That is what our ancient books and history says. So we have seen in different phases. One, I think we in the first semester we studied during the World War, First World War, after First World War, then after independence. There are three phases. I have mentioned here in one of the slides. The first phase can be considered from 18th century. Mid of 18th century means starting from 1850, after 1850 to First World War. Then the second phase is after the First World War to independence, 1947. Then after 47 till date, the post-independence era. There are three phases. We can divide the trend. First phase, second phase, third phase. First phase is prior to the World War. Second phase is till independence, after World War, post World War, till independence. Third phase is after independence. So there are three phases where we can understand the trend. The first phase can be considered to have commented from the middle of the 18th century and ended by end of the First World War. The second phase comprises the period where till the attainment of independence, 1947. The third phase is post-independence era. During this phase, there are a lot of changes came into picture, and current changes are, suppose you take example of 2023, 24, 26. Next, what are the changes coming in HR practice? So we'll discuss that. Similarly, few changes came in past. Suppose in current days, these are the trends, these are changes coming on day-to-day HR practice. First thing is the use of technology. Suppose you are having a big organization, starting from your maintenance of attendance till your production, everything is technology based. In the earlier days, people used to write everything in pen and paper. Now, technology is reading your attendance, technology is reading your product. So everything is technology based. So you have to adapt the technology. Whoever are not accommodating technology, not learning technology, not going or coping up with technology, they are failing. Take many examples. They are not in the competition because they are not adapting the technology. Hybrid workplace and policy. In current days, whenever you are allowing people, you want to give the flexibility of the people. Suppose someone wants to work from home, someone wants to work remotely. So you should give that facility to the employee. So now the time has changed. You cannot ask everyone to come to office and work. So people want flexibility, and in terms of working, wherever they go, they should be able to work. They should be able to connected with the office. So that you have to understand that practice. You have to bring in your HR practice. Hybrid workplace. Then you should have some mechanism to attract, manage, and retain. The talent should attract your company, attract your organization, wherever you are working. So you should give something. Maybe your work environment is nice, your pay structure is nice, your management is nice. So whatever may be the reason, so your organization should attract the talent, and you should able to manage and retain the talent. So that is a practice you have to adapt. Upskilling and reskilling. Whenever you are recruiting person, so you should able to take the complete responsibility of giving training to that person. Suppose a particular team is working on a product, you have to make sure that team is producing. So some training is required, some operation is required, some to to handle the machineries, to handle the production. So you have to give certain training to that group. So that training you have to give. And whenever a person is working, they should have a close eye on the current trend, new technology market, and learn up to date, keep their knowledge up to date, learn things everyday basis. Nowadays, you are listening Chat GPT. Nowadays, you are listening uh, data science. Nowadays, you are listening all these things. Earlier, you are not listening this. So, if you have some work, people are learning new things, new technology, they will be in a better shape, better position to claim themselves if they know the new technology, new tools available in the market. Employees wellness. Suppose you are a boss, you are a employer. If you are talking to the employee, so you should leave some personal touch to the employee. So if a person is coming to you and discussing, you know that person has some problem with his parents or at home or kids. There is nothing wrong if you ask, how is your parents, how is your kid, how is your spouse. So what will happen? The person will feel that you are concerned about that person. So wellness is very important. So only giving good work, good salary will not help. So having good talk and giving a personal touch to the employee's wellness, thinking about that will also take you a long. So this is very important in the coming trend. Data analysis. Data analysis is something very important. You know how important the data is. So if an organization has a lot of data, suppose your organization is a very old organization, recruiting people and doing the production since 50 years or 60 years. During this 50 years or 60 years, you have many production, many people came and many people left, and you have the record of all this. People who joined, people who worked for you for 2 months, 3 months and left, people who worked for you for 2, 3 years and left, people who worked for you for 10 years left. You have the data. So you can understand various patterns from that data. People who are working with you for 10 years, people who are working with you for 1 month or 10 days, people who are working with you for 10 months. So you have various patterns, various data. So from that data you can understand, you can educate you can use the data for your purpose. So that work is known as data analysis. Data analytics is something you should have data to know more. Think beyond the traditional role of HR. Suppose you are a HR manager. Think beyond means you have to think something differently, not like a HR manager. You are working with people, person. They are just like you. So you have to work with them in a different manner. Maybe you are a HR manager, but while working with people, you have to work with them in a different way. Be the voice of your people and team. So whenever you are talking with a top management or with a higher official or with some external people, you protect your team. You talk on behalf of your team, and you are the voice, you are the spokesperson of your team. So that means team will have a big trust on you that someone is there and talking on behalf of us. So whenever you are talking, you talk on behalf of the team. So that is the 8 point. Be the voice of your team. So you will be the spokesperson of your team. Your team thinks, okay, our leader is there to talk. Our manager is there to represent. So that is something very much required in the current trend. Hire diverse workforce. What do you mean by diverse workforce? Whenever you are hiring, you are recruiting, sometimes we have a mindset, okay, we don't hire the people who are in a different diversity. Suppose I am a person man, so I will not recruit a woman. I think men are efficient, can do better job than women. That is a biased perception. So maybe I'm wrong, or I think if I I will recruit from my religion. I will not recruit a different caste, different religion, or a different region. So that is a wrong perception, and based on that, most of the times we do wrong hire and leave the best talent. So we have to remove that perception. We have to hire from a different diversity. These are the trend. The current trend what HR is following or need to follow. Use of technology, hybrid workplace, attract people, training and upskilling, personal touch, employees wellness, data analysis, and think beyond the traditional role of HR, be the voice of the team, diverse workflows, hiring of diverse workflows. These are the different trend of HR practice, and in coming days, and this has been adapted from different HR groups recently, and also this is going to be the future trend where HR is controlling most of the things. Suppose this paper is industrial relations. Industrial relations means keeping a good culture, good relationship between employer and employee. And most of the times, employees are handled by the HR. HR means who is dealing with the employees, workers, human resource, and this human resource who are responsible for keeping a good relations with the employer and keeping your organization and production into a profitable state, and ultimately if the organization is profitable, the country is making profitable, so it is contributing the country's economy. So what we studied in industrial lessons. So we have some summary, some basics of industrial lessons. Then after that we may have to take one more class where I will conclude everything. I will kind of revise the syllabus, what you have the course from chapter 1 to till 8. So everything will go through in one class, maybe next week. There we'll understand what are the chapters you studied in this paper and a thorough knowledge of your syllabus. One thing, this was we studied different aspects of industrial relations. Industrial relations means to have a good relationship between employer and employee, healthy labor management relations, maintenance of industrial peace, and avoidance of industrial strikes and lockout. You remembered what is strike and lockout. Strike is something done by employees. Lockout is something done by employer. Why lockout is done? If a portion of your production unit, your factory is not functioning, if a particular machine is not working, if a particular environment is not working, the employer will lock out. Employer कौन करिए? Business को lock कर दिए, so that no one can work. अब कई कामों को जाए पड़े. Lockout may be done by the employer. Strikes are the employee. Strikes are done by the employee. But ultimately, in both the cases, the factory is making loss. The production is going to stop both in case of strike and case of lockout. So, we'll make loss. And an industrial relationship is eradicating the strikes and lockout, building a good relationship between all these people so that we can avoid that. Development of industrial democracy. Democracy is something where people has rights to say something, to raise their voice. If you have if you have a proper union through lockout, strike, people can speak to the owners, management. So it will bring a proper and a thorough democracy to the culture. People who are not talking, not saying anything, in a good relationship, in a good IR, people will talk. So it will develop a democracy. So these are the main aspect, main industrial relationship objective. And we'll take one class, as I said, we'll revise everything. That will happen next week, around Tuesday. Tomorrow is Sunday, will not have any class. So today will not have any class. After break, will not take any break today. We'll close this. With this, you will have this paper complete. And one more class will take to revise everything. So that will be a summary of all the chapters. So we'll go through each and every chapter what we studied. And we'll recap everything, all the points we go through once. That will close all the topic of this chapter of paper. Thank you.